right, here we go. Here we go. Oh, I'm tilted a little bit there. See, I'm looking a little tilted, didn't I?
You are tilted.
All right. I am tilted.
I mean,
Yeah.
you
know,
it's just, trying to stay.
It's Monday.
Good morning, Monday. Guys, what's the best part about Mondays?
It's Boxing Day.
It's Boxing Day. The best part of waking up is boxing in your cup.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Right?
But do you know what time it is?
Boxing time?
No, do you really know what time it is?
11?
It's time! It's live! The Sid and Sonya show from SydFIT. Here we go. It's Monday. It's Boxing Day.
It's Boxing Day. Guys, if you are joining us live and you didn't see our story previews before, we have a special guest today. The one, the only, wait, come on, ring announce it for us.
Steve, the Dragon Claggett.
Whoop, whoop.
There it is, yeah. The champ, man. He's the champ. He holds a few belts.
Yes.
You know, a few. He's got like belts all over the place.
I know. I can't remember. I counted them once.
Yeah.
I can't remember how many it is. We'll verify with him.
It's quite a lot. Quite a lot.
We'll verify.
He's all straight. Looking forward to this. I'm so looking forward to this.
I know it's going to be a good day. It makes boxing even better to have boxing
It's
friends.
going to be a great day.
What's up, Steve?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
There he is in the flesh. It's going good, man. How are you?
Very good over here. It's good to see you guys.
Good to see you
It's good to see you again. Last time I saw you was in Calgary, when I was in Calgary for the Calgary Cup.
Yeah,
Yeah. You see?
Yeah, you popped in, yeah.
live,
To support the local amateur boxing scene, man, which is very cool.
yeah, of course. I always go to the fights because if you start there, you always remember there.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, listen, I know you probably don't know this,
No, I'm so young.
you
I
probably
might
don't
not
know
know this.
but Steve and I actually had a chat on Messenger, like at the very beginning of the pandemic, and we clicked, man. There's something about this guy's spirit, and I think I know what it's going to be. Actually, I was thinking about it. So your nickname is the Dragon.
Yes, sir.
Why is it the Dragon?
It's my Chinese heritage. That's where it came,
All right.
where it came from.
Now, are you a fan of Bruce Lee?
Of course.
See, I knew it. That was the connection. No, because when he was talking, the philosophy, like I was just like, this is more than about boxing. Like this is a lifestyle. This is in him. Like it's not just punch people in the head. So that's why I was like, that was the connection, man.
I've had the pleasure of talking to Steve for a few years now, and it's always a pleasure when I get to talk to him. And he kindly did come on and join the Young Champions when we were on during COVID, and we were doing our online classes, and they loved having him.
Yeah.
There was a lot of requests for you to come back, so we'll try and figure out a way that you can come back and see them.
I would love to come back. I would love to.
Seconds, I'm going to close.
Yeah,
that
do your
door.
thing. So talk to me then. I just want to know about your some of your philosophies about boxing. Where did you who did you study? Like who do you study in terms of boxers and even maybe even trainers in boxing? Like, you know, did I Customato or anything? Who did you study that you're like, hey, like you took some philosophy from their teachings?
Well, I mean, as far as boxing, I always kind of leaned towards studying fighters who had a similar style to mine. And I just figured that would be the most practical way to get if I saw them do it and it worked, it'll probably work for me. And I studied a lot of come forward pressure fighters like Julio Cesar Chavez.
Yeah.
I studied when I was younger. I studied a lot of I guess Mickey Ward because I got the body shot.
Yeah.
And later in life, I was working on a lot of Golovkin style because I trained beside him in Big Bear, and he was a pressure fighter too. But honestly, I take a little bit from every fighter, and I watch a lot of boxing. I always have.
Yeah.
you know, it's something that I love to do. So I study all the best, but usually it has to do with what I'm working on at that time. Who does it well? Okay, does you know, does that fighter work or look or kind of move like I do? Now I can do something with it. So I said to everybody, a little bit of everybody, but
For sure, for sure.
it's when I need it.
Talking about the legend himself, Julio Cesar Chavez, did you see his recent fight when he fought Camacho Jr.?
Yes. The exhibition, the
Was that not unbelievable how skilled he still is?
I was gonna say he still got it.
Oh my gosh! And the heart, like I'm taking off the headgear. I wanted to do this for real. I was jumping up and down.
He's a fighter for life. When you're a fighter for life, I guess.
Totally awesome. So what we like to do here on this show is we like to, so at the end, so we're going to do like 30 or 50 episodes. And at the end of our 50 episodes, we're actually going to put Sonya in the ring for a real fight. So
I didn't even know this, so I just found this out?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So
Let's do it. Steve, you're coming down, right?
She's learning as we go about. No, not Kevin Steve. So every week she gets to learn something new from somebody, you know, that we have on. So one of the things that you talked about, Chavez, I figure you want to protect the moneymaker. Let's work on some defense today.
I'm getting old. The moneymaker doesn't really matter too much anymore.
Give me, so what is one of your go-to defensive moves? Is it a slip? Is it a duck? Is it a parry? What is one of your go-to defensive moves?
Well, I always like to slip punches, but I also find that as I slip, I take a little step at the same time. So it doesn't need to be much, but if I'm slipping to the left, I'll take a step with my left foot, and I'll move just slightly out of the way. And I learned this probably when I was sparring with some good pros down in Big Bear a long time ago, because these guys make me miss punches by a half an inch, but it wouldn't be so much that he wouldn't be able to hit me after. So I remember throwing a punch and I missed him by probably a millimeter. And I remember looking at me the whole time that I threw the punch. And it wasn't a matter of him slipping. Like he slipped, he did the proper movement, but he took a subtle step just to create a little bit of distance. As he slipped to the left, he stepped with his left foot, just a half inch, just nothing. But it was enough to create a gap that he could then fire back with. So there's the slipping with the upper body, but there's the slipping that includes the lower body, the subtle step. If I go right, it's my right foot. If I go left, it's my left foot. And this little tiny gap that he created made enough of an opening for him to catch me in. So it was something slip inside, but being aware of your distance.
Now, so we're slipping to our left, we're going to step with the left. Is it just the left foot, or am I moving the left and the right foot?
The right foot the right foot will come with you, but the focus is left. The right will just, if you move your whole body that way, your right will come with you. So the left and the right takes a subtle step, I guess.
Nice. So what would you, let's work from left. So we're going to slip to our left, and the counter punch is going to be, what are we going to use for the counter?
Left hook.
Left hook. Oh, look at you, ready to go. Okay. All right, let me get it.
So I'm going to do a subtle slip to the left, and my right's going to come with me, and then I'm going to pop up with butt.
Yes. And so when you're slipping, that little step will make sure that their right hand doesn't land, but your right hand does land. So you're a southpaw. So in this case,
I just forget we're reversed.
Yeah. So,
okay. It's the mirror. So if you step slightly to the left, okay, and drop your right shoulder forwards. Yes, at the same time, that's the move. And then with that little step, you'll actually get out of the way of the follow-up punch. Yes. And then,
so I have a question for the head. Now, her head is pretty much straight up and down. Should the head tilt a little bit like that, or do you like it straight up? What do you think?
I like to put a little angle on it
Okay.
because
A little angle like that.
Yeah.
tuck
Like that, like that, like
Oh,
that.
that feels so weird to me. Okay.
well,
Okay.
but
We're gonna do it.
you don't want your head to go like this. You want your head to be here. It's almost like your shoulders move, your head stays neutral.
Whoa, yeah. She's getting it now. She gets it.
Yes, yeah. That's the one. That's the one. Exactly.
Okay. That feels better.
Okay.
That feels better.
All right. So let's go with the slip. All right. So I threw my right hand at you. No, did you not hear Steve? Not by 10 inches,
By half an inch.
by half an inch. Precision, right?
Precision, the name of the game.
Okay. I'll go up close so you can see how close it's getting. A little closer. They're right there.
Okay.
All right. Now,
Okay. And then.
pop.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Here it comes.
I didn't take the step.
Okay.
Okay.
A little step. There you go.
And
Yes.
do you know why she didn't take the step? Because there's a punch coming in your head. Like, this is the thing about boxing, right? People don't realize there's a punch coming in your head. You got to make the punch miss. Then you got to step. And then you got to come back with a punch. Like, it's hard stuff.
It's a lot of stuff.
Always
It's a lot of stuff all at the same
Always-
time.
thing with boxing. If you try and get away from it, you'll end up taking the worst of it. But if you step to it, you'll get right past it.
Yeah. Do the opposite of what your instincts tell you to do.
Yes.
Do the opposite.
Yes. Go.
Everything you were taught as a child. Now is the moment to forget that.
Right.
Okay. So a fraction, and then the hook.
Yes.
Fraction.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Nice.
Woo!
One more. Okay.
Forgot to prepare.
So tell me what apparatus or piece of equipment can you use to because I mean, she's not always going to have me. She can afford to have me here all the time, doing this. Like,
Wait, whoa! You're training me all the way up until I find someone.
what else can you do to perfect this? Because muscle memory, right? Like, what else can you do what other things?
You can use a slip bag. You can
Okay.
use an uppercut bag. You can use your imagination when stepping towards the bag. You can do it with a partner, a live drilling kind of situation, or you can just do it with a mirror and make sure that your movement. Okay, am I doing it? Am I actually getting out of the way? If there was a punch coming at me, am I moving far enough away off the center line? One that I find helps me is I imagine that I threw the right hand, but I don't actually throw it. I just turn the body, just twist the upper body. You pretend you're throwing the right hand, but that's actually your slip. You don't even need to throw it. You keep your right, but you throw your right shoulder, and that'll put you in perfect position to load the left hook.
So the slipping movement is the exact same movement pretty much as throwing the right hand.
Yes, sir.
So your opponent wouldn't know. Are you throwing the right hand or are you slipping? They got no idea.
Exactly.
And that's why you're so elusive.
Exactly.
Concept.
Yes, concept. Go ahead.
What if we took Steve's small step with a slip, but then we added Joshua's step in with the body?
That would work too. So stepping back with it, yeah. I saw it. I
Double up the power, because when you get your legs behind the punch, you get a lot of pop on it.
Absolutely.
But it's always about subtlety, right? A little step and a little step back in. Doesn't need to be a big step. Just keep it nice and short, nice and sweet.
Excellent. Ooh. So you said something about imagination there.
Yep.
Now, Steve, I'm old, all right? So I'm going to talk like an old guy right now. Like, fighters these days, they don't want to shadow box. They just want to hit stuff. Why don't they want to shadow box? Tell me, how much shadow boxing do you do in like a regular training session for you, where you're not sparring? Let's say you're not sparring that day. How much shadow boxing are you going to do?
Shadow boxing is the key, because you can have the whole fight shadow boxing if you know how to use your mind. I have honestly I've always made it a thing that when I'm fighting a 10-round fight, leading up to the fight, I will make sure to shadow box 10 rounds with my vision, with my focus, and I do it. It's always different. Sometimes I do it one really focused time before the fight. Sometimes I do it 100 really focused time before the fight. But I find that it's everything. If you don't shadow box, how do you know your body? If you don't shadow box, you won't know your range. So you can literally practice the entire fight with just what you have. Your machine. This is all you need to fight. You put on gloves, but it doesn't have much. So I think one of the absolute keys to boxing.
I love it. I love hearing it. By the way, that's the one clip that we're definitely gonna cut out there for young fighters. Because I mean, I didn't know. So 10 rounds of shadow boxing, and you know, I heard a fighter one time talk about running and how they run without any headphones or anything because it allows them to stay mentally focused for that time period.
Right.
Shadow boxing would be the same thing because a lot of times people get knocked out, hurt, whatever. It's not that they didn't see the punches, that the mental acuity slipped for a split second.
Yes.
So you shadow boxing for 10 rounds means you got to stay mentally sharp. 10 rounds mentally. You got to be creative. You got to do different things.
Yeah.
That's a really good thing to do.
One of the hardest things, right? Because your mind starts thinking, what if this happens? What if this happens? What about yesterday? What about tomorrow? And you start thinking of so you're actually exercising your concentration muscle. I'm staying focused for 10 rounds. Every round I'm thinking about what I'm going to do. Just like in the fight, I need to be focused for the whole duration of the fight. What am I going to do if he does this? What am I going to do if this happens? If this happens? It's almost like you're exercising your mental muscle so that you're able to concentrate for the duration of the fight, which is never a bad thing to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So in your fight, and Steve's really great at this, by the way, body punching. You definitely want to throw some body punching, right? Yeah. So we're going to do that slip, and then we're going to come with a body punch.
Okay.
We're going to go with Steve's, we'll see. I mean, he likes making words. He's probably going to say the left uppercut to the body. What body punch do you want to throw off of that? Are we bringing the palm up, or are we bringing it around? Are we bringing it down? How do you want that knuckle?
I find about halfway between the uppercut and the hook does a lot of damage. Because I've just slipped in, I throw it almost diagonally this way because it gives me a good width. It's hard to block, and I mean, it's either one. It's the hook or the uppercut. But if you're close enough, it'll work.
Okay.
Right up into those ribs.
So now I'm going to give you some Canadian boxing trivia.
All
What
right.
fighter used to call that punch the smash?
Razor Ruddock.
Oh, it's the man. That's it. He does much more. Good stuff.
Okay. So we're going to flip, and we're going to come up on an angle.
Like a 45.
Okay.
Yep.
So slip.
And how much do we slip, Sonya?
A quarter of an inch. Right. So smaller.
Yeah. Woo!
Nice.
Nice. Now, in her punch right now, it's a lot of arm. When you throw it, are you throwing the whole body, how do you like to throw it?
What I like to do is I twist my left side and my left foot, but I only twist it to the middle of my body. I don't twist my right side. I twist the left side, and then I snap it back.
Oh, we're buffering. Well, it's his freeze because we're still live. We're still going here. Oh, there he is. He's back. It's back. There you go.
Back.
All right. So you only twist to the mid.
So I got twist to the mid. So if I go more on, I'm twisting to the middle here.
Yes, but now is when you twist to the middle. Now, once you get there is when you twist. You twist your left hip to the middle and then snap it back. Yes.
I heard that.
There you go.
No. Why only to the middle? Why do you want to come back to the middle?
I find that the snap back keeps your balance. So if I were to throw the left hook and throw it as hard as I can, I'd fall over to the right if I don't snap it back. So the snap back of the punch is very, very important. So you're flipping, you're loading the punch, you throw it, but then you snap it back after you've thrown it, which creates whip. It creates the snap, and it also gives you some. It puts you back in position. So after you throw the punch, you're not in danger.
This is a veteran fighter here, because someone that's only had like 6 or 7 punches say, well, but coach, when I hit them with this punch, they're going to go flying. But the thing is, you're going to hit people with a lot of punches, and they're not going to go flying, and you're going to get very tired. Leave yourself open.
Come back. You gotta keep going.
10
You
rounds.
always have to be, no, I think you should always be prepared old school, that it's not 12 rounds. You got to be
15?
prepared for 15.
Whoa. Okay.
That, if you read the history and you look at the history of boxing, they used to fight until it was a knockout.
Yeah.
So there was no 12 rounds, 10 rounds. You went until you couldn't go anymore.
Yeah, I've seen some of those fights.
And 12 rounds,
I've
jackrabbit.
I've always told myself I will be ready to finish my opponent the last second of the last round. So fighting 3-rounders, I had 3 rounds of gas in the tank and ready to go hard the last round too. When I was fighting 4-rounders, I upped my gas tank. 6 rounds, 8 rounds, and now 10 rounds. I know that I have 10 rounds, and I'm ready to go hard in round 10. So this is always how I kind of prep my preparation to what I have to do. I make sure that my mind is ready for, the most.
Absolutely, because if you're doubting yourself before you get into the ring, now you're just giving your opponent an opportunity to, build confidence.
Exactly.
And you can't sit there and assume that you're going to get a 3rd round knockout or a 4th round. You have to be prepared that they can hold their own and they can take those punches.
Yes, and it's a simple test. If you want to shadow box for 4 rounds and go as hard as you can, that's a 4-round fight. If you want to hit because you can test it, and if you're honest with yourself, if you are really pushing it. And it's always a good thing to test your endurance and really give it all in a 4-round training session on the heavy bag, something like that, just so you can do 4 hard rounds. Perfect. That's how we set up for success.
So speak about knockouts. Do you go into the fight looking for a knockout?
No, because I feel like if you create this tension, you get excited, you can waste energy, especially if your opponent is tougher than you thought and they don't feel like going away. So
that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
So true.
if you expend a lot of energy trying to get that knockout, you can turn it on yourself. You'll be exhausted after that round, and now you got to play recovery. So I never like to try and force the knockout. I'll set it up, and if it's there, take it, but I'm not forcing it.
Have you ever done that where you went in like, okay, I'm looking for the knockout? Have you ever tried that?
Yes, I have, and my first professional loss was a fight that I knocked the guy down twice, and I went to go and finish him, and I went to go and finish him again and again, and I missed, and I ended up hurting myself, injuring myself, and ruined my whole everything for the fight, and I ended up losing that fight. So it was a harsh lesson, and it always reminded me, okay, don't get overexcited. Don't go gunning for what you think. You always have to be prepared, and we always want to be prepared for the entire duration of the fight.
Awesome. And similar, one time I was trying to figure out how I wanted to go into the ring, the mentality that I need to have to go into the ring. I was a big Mike Tyson fan, so I thought, okay, I'm going to do the Mike Tyson thing. I'm going to go in there, the structure, and, I'm going to go. It was the worst fight ever. I went in there, and I'm, like, swinging, and I'm trying to knock this guy out, and it was a terrible fight. So I learned that that's not my mentality. I can't do that. It doesn't work for me. What's your mentality? When you are going into – so you're in the dressing room. You're in the dressing room, and you're getting yourself ready to go into the ring and do what you need to do. What's your mentality?
I'm a thinker, right? So me, I know that in that spot, I'm going to be thinking a million things. So for me, I have a list, like a checklist. I have my warm-up stuff that I like to do. I have my videos that I like to watch, my songs that I like to listen to. I just go through all these things that they kind of put me into the fight mode, but I already have it planned because I've done it so many times before. And I like to be mindful, is what they call it, where I'm not thinking about, I'm going to do this in the fight, I did this yesterday, or whatever. I'm just thinking right here, right now, okay, my balance is like this. My legs are warmed up. My body feels good. My breathing feels good. So I take myself to the present moment and I'm thinking about what I'm doing. I'm not even thinking about the fight because I find for me it causes overthinking and it causes a lot of stress. But I just stay focused on what's happening right now. And if I'm doing my warm up, I'm thinking about my skipping rhythm. If I'm working on my shadow boxing, I'm thinking about my jab. I'm thinking about the hook. And I just take myself out of the, the situation, and I keep myself in the present moment where I'm just in my head and I stay focused on my machine, what I can control. And I find that that's one of the most powerful spots I've been in before a fight, because I let go of all the expectations, all the noise outside. You can always hear the ring, you can always hear the people outside. I'm not worried about that. I'm just thinking about how I warm up my body, how I feel right now, and I take myself into the present moment. And slowly I begin to dial my intensity in, or start to listen to maybe a little more intense music, or sometimes it's no music, but I start to think about the fight a little bit more. And I usually like to dial it in so that right as I'm starting to warm up, I'm not thinking about anything but the fight. So I keep my mind open at first, and then when it comes fight time, I narrow in my focus and I think about nothing but.
Awesome. It's a rhythm, it's a cadence, right? A preparation, right? Like I can feel it, I can sense it. Like as you're talking about, like, yeah, I see what you're build that cadence, right?
Exactly.
And then
And you
hit that ring.
Yeah, and you can practice this in the gym. You can practice this before sparring. You can practice this before anytime. But the better you get at your warm up, the better your warm up will be before the fight. You can use that too. That's a good weapon to have. That's a good piece.
So,
If you have faith in that warm up, when I start doing it, it reminds me of all the times I did it in the gym.
and you had success. Yeah.
Exactly.
Good, good. All right, you ready? Let's go.
Okay.
So we're slipping.
So I'm slipping, slightly missing.
To the center. Yeah. Whoa!
Nice.
All right. So do you know what organ are you going to hit with that? Where you would aim for?
Oh, I'm the worst body parts. I want to go with, is it liver on that side?
Yeah, the liver.
Okay, I'm like, I know one.
You go
And
for
then the
liver.
other one's like
Yeah.
more, I'm really bad with body
No,
parts,
we don't.
guys.
We don't do kidneys. Well, not legally, anyways.
Legally, we don't do it. Lots of people do, though. I'm sure you've both been hit at least once or twice.
Yeah. Woo!
Nice.
Awesome. All right.
There it is.
Just jump on that one, though.
You want to see what he's got coming up?
Oh, yeah, Steve, what do you have coming up? What's next?
I mean,
You just fought Tony Lewis. That was in Cornwall.
yeah, that was a big fight, and that was a great fight. That was a great fight.
I was so sad that I couldn't come out to that. I was so sad.
I know.
It was, you know what, that was one that it was good because Tony and I we're professionals and we keep it respectful, and it was just a great fight between two really experienced fighters. So I'm happy with that one, and I also wish Tony all the best, by the way, because they're a good fighting family, and I got nothing but respect for those guys.
Absolutely.
But I know that was a fight that a lot of Canadians were excited to see. There was a lot of talk about that, finally seeing who would win between the two of you. That was a big fight for Canada
It was
and Canadian boxing. It was a big fight.
Yeah, it was. So now, I mean, hopefully it opened some doors. I would love I don't know. I think the next fight, I mean, I'm ready to take a big step. I'm ready to take a big step up. I'm ready for the best in the world, and I know that I am because I've been doing this for so long, and I know where I stand with these guys up in the top 10. And I mean, I've been pressing it and pushing it and training so consistently for so long that I believe it's time now. So I'm just getting ready, and I think the next fight will be, well, I know it'll be before the end of the year, but the details are being confirmed right now. So my job as a fighter is just get better, because if you get better, you will be better.
Right, that's right. And again, just love your mentality. I love the consistency and discipline that you've shown over the years, and that is what that is the foundation. So, like, people used to say, "Well, how long did it take you to get ready for this fight?" Well, yeah, training camp was 6 weeks or 8 weeks, but I've been preparing for this fight for 9 years because every training camp you're learning something, you're developing, you're growing, you're building, and I see that with you, right? And it's coming, brother. It's coming. All right, all the hard work is gonna pay off.
Hey, and I guess that's a good one for us to share with all the fighters, because you don't need to take a bunch of time off. Just like if the training camp was rough and the fight was rough, yeah, you need to heal your body. But I've always found that right after the fight, my mind is the sharpest, and the fight's still clear in my mind, and I can remember everything. So this is when I make the most adjustments, the best changes. This is when it's fresh in my mind. So I don't like to take a bunch of time off. Don't get me wrong, I train lighter because I know that my body needs it, but
Yeah.
I do overtime when it comes to the mental work, because it's all fresh in my head. So I find, again, if you get better, you will be better. It doesn't matter when the fight is. If we keep improving, by the time the fight shows up, we already got momentum. We're already in the groove.
Yeah, momentum's a big thing. Momentum is huge.
Sure.
Good.
All right.
Well-
What do you got now? We're gonna answer some questions. If there's any questions, we're just gonna answer those, and then look.
I have some people who are saying, "Hey, what's up, champ?" I have some people that are very, very glad to see you.
Nice. I'm happy to talk with everybody.
Somebody wants to know how many belts do you have, actually? How many belts do you have?
I have 7.
All right, all the titles. Let's go. Which 7? Let's have them list.
You're gonna ask
Wait. I am gonna ask him because I know he knows.
Okay.
And I know because we did champs when we did it online. I know those belts aren't more than 20 feet from him right now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. You're right. Well, okay. Right now, I hold the WBC Francophone title at super lightweight. I also still hold the Canadian CPBC. That one's at welterweight. I'm the former WBA NABA champion. I'm the former IBF Intercontinental. I'm the former IBF North American. I'm the former NCC Canadian. And I am also the former WBC Youth Intercontinental. So that was a good one when I was a younger guy. And I also won one called the Universal Boxing Hall of Fame a long time ago, and I never actually received a belt for that, but that was a good one too.
That's okay.
Part of the game.
All right, we'll put it out there. We'll put it out there to see if they're still around, where that belt is.
Yeah, let's see if we can get. Let's see if we can get.
Okay, challenge accepted. We're gonna see if we can get
We're
you
gonna see
your
if we can
belt.
get you your belt. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. Why not?
Pumped. I would be pumped.
Listen, we'll keep you on longer. Thank you so much for joining us today, and much continued success, health, prosperity. I know you love the game, and you love what you do in the ring, and it shows. It shows, man. So keep doing it, keep inspiring us, and all the best.
Hey,
Thank you very, very much for joining us. We'll be if the next one's in Montreal or close about, I'm going to force Sid to road trip with me.
Okay.
I
Sure.
can't.
You have to drive too.
I can't wait to see you guys, and I'm always happy to come and chat. The next generations of fighters. That's where we all start, right? So somebody's got to show the next generation a couple things so that they get a head start and they get moving better than we did. And I think that's the point. So I really appreciate you guys having me, and I'm always happy to chat with you.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much,
Thanks
champ.
so much, Steve.
Hey, see
All
you
right,
guys.
have a good one.
All right, everybody, thank you for joining us for this episode of Sid and Sonya at SydFIT.
On a
Come on, you
Monday.
didn't even dance that
It's
time?
Boxing
We gotta
Day.
dance.
It's Boxing Day. It's Boxing Day.
It's Boxing Day. It's the best way to start your week, friends. Join us. When's
And
the
they
next?
can go on
Well,
YouTube, right?
yeah, it's going to be on. So if you missed this episode or you're like, hey, I just saw it on Instagram and you got halfway through, it's going to be live on YouTube in a few hours and you can watch it there and you can catch up with past episodes with John Scully, Cody Crowley, DeWitt and Joshua Fraser.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you. The list just goes on, guys. We're going to do our best to bring as many Canadian boxers to you to learn as many tricks, tips, have fun, have laughs, joke around, see what everyone's favorite things, shenanigans we can get up to, you know.
Sure.
See if I can punch Sid one day if anyone has any tips, you know.
Well, you're going to be.
Throw them in the comments.
Hey, and
'cause-
don't forget, she's going to be having a fight after we do all this. She's well,
do we have an opponent?
Not yet. Not yet. No. I'm thinking we could like throw it out here like a Facebook poll and
Okay.
see who wants to fight you.
Oh, we can't do that.
way.
The list will grow so
No,
fast.
I don't know. I think
There's probably an extended list of people who would like to try to punch me. Eloise, if you're watching this, you may not sign up. You may not sign up. Nahal, can I fight PhD?
No, it should be like, another female would probably be a good idea.
That's a really long list of people who may want to
we'll
punch
see.
me. Guys, I'm 37, okay? I'm a really friendly person. I'm totally down to fight. Eloise says she'll fight me. She's like, I am right
Like
in.
right there. Like, I'm in.
She's
I'll
like,
fight
I'm
you.
in. Let's do it. No, guys, come on. If
You can
ladies,
fight. Hey, Michelle's watching. You can fight Michelle.
I don't want to
look,
fight Michelle.
Natalie.
Natalie. I feel like Natalie wouldn't try to destroy me too much, so I'm totally down, Natalie. If you want to be my partner, I'm down for that.
All right, Natalie.
I'm open
We'll
to
see.
it, guys. But let's kill each other nicely. I don't know. Is that the right term?
Kill each other-
Kill
yes,
each other
kill you
nicely. All right.
All right,
We'll
everyone.
see you soon, everybody.
Happy Monday.
Thank you
Happy
for joining
Boxing
us.
Day.
Happy Boxing Day.